We got us an interesting weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Fresh off of Thanksgiving and Black Friday or Good Friday, whatever Friday you want to call it. Some of us are. Some of us have a 4-day weekend. Some of us still have to work. I'm one of those people, but I'm excited. This is an interesting. This is an interesting weekend. We got the Hornets who are 4-15, and we have the Knicks. And what I want to talk about, honestly, is positioning and prosperity. I'm not so much worried about the Hornets. I'm not. You know what I mean? But it's a game that leads into the game that we really want. I've been online, you know what I mean? I got off of work last night and I'm tapping in, I'm looking and seeing what the algorithm is talking about. A lot of people are excited about this Knick game. Super excited, super over excited about this Knick game, over interested in this Knick game. And I kind of splashed into what the Knicks are right now, but we're gonna do a dive. We're gonna get into a little deeper. And I'm gonna make sense of it. Because it's too soon for us to think about the importance of us playing against the Knicks. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. We're gonna have a good conversation. I'm excited to talk about this. The reality is, in life, there's two things that are important: positioning and prosperity. Like everyone, like when we were young, we were taught so much about the end result, the prosperity portion, the getting money and the spending and the result and the enjoyment and the aftermath and all of that shit. But we were never taught about the positioning of it. Before there's any success, before there's any prosperity, before there's anything at all, there is positioning. Positioning is the most important thing in life. It isn't until you understand what life is and you realize, shit, even I myself at 51 years old, I just realized, damn, positioning. No one in my family ever put us in a position to be prosperous. Someone has to be the sacrificial lamb. My problem is I'm a wolf. I'm more wolf than sheep. But someone has to do the positioning. So someone has to be, all right, now I got to put us in position. So I can't hunt the way I want to hunt. Because I got to put us in position to hunt the way we want to hunt forever. And when you think of basketball, it's the same thing. Positioning. Before you can be successful, you have to be positioned to be successful. We are in great position very early, way ahead of expectation, and it brings us this joy and this fulfilling feeling of everything we've done to get in this position. We're satisfied, we're happy, yet still hungry because we're wolves in sheep's clothing, as I have to be throughout this life for the rest of my life, as long as whatever time I got left to get in position. I personally, I'm probably not going to live long enough to see the prosperity of it all, because the generation before me didn't set us up to be prosperous. Now I got to position it so that the next generation, the generation after that, can be successful. And I'm cool with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I find pride and honor in that. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be me. Who else is it going to be? I think when you look at the Raptors, Masai was in that position where he had to be. I might not be here when y'all get there. And he alluded to that in the press conference. Whether I'm here or not, it's going to be success. And we all understood what he meant when he said that. We didn't want to believe it, though. We wanted him to be here. That's my fate, probably. I accept it. For my family, I accept it. And everyone's fighting for positioning now. This is early in the season. The NBC contract hasn't even kicked in yet. There's still blockage on these different places, and you can't watch this game if you're in this region and this from this region and all that stuff. But when NBC hit, that's when the show begins, right? Because ABC and NBC are going to pretty much have us lock and key, right? The Knicks are who everybody's excited about, because we're going to judge ourselves according to some. We're going to judge ourselves by the performance we have against the Knicks. It'll decide an excessive amount of acceptance into the league's, positioning, the league's subculture of success and posturing. And we get it. We know what it means to beat the Knicks team. I'm a New Yorker. We haven't had a relevant Knicks team in years. The problem is it's never gonna be about basketball. Y'all keep thinking as a Knicks, as a not even a Knicks fan, because once you live in New York and you go to high school, your grandfathered in. You're gonna be aware of the Knicks forever because you've been in the city. You went to high school, junior high school, elementary school, born in the hospitals. That's part of the culture. That's part of your lifestyle, to be aware of what the Knicks, the Yankees, the Mets, the Islanders are doing. Whether you're a fan of theirs or not, you're gonna be aware of what they're doing because you're just grandfathered in. So you're sitting there as a grandfathered in fan, but you have your favorite team. Some are the Lakers. When you go to New York, you're gonna see Laker fans, Cleveland fans, Miami fans, Clippers fans. We are grandfathered in with the Knicks, but we don't necessarily champion them because they don't identify with who we are as people as we grow older. So we're watching this thing and we're positioning ourselves to enjoy the moment of us playing against OG, playing against the Knicks, and then the Knicks relevancy. It's too early though. I think it's too early to put that type of psychological, emotional weight on this game. It's going to be one of those stepping stone type of games where we kind of gauge who they are versus us versus who they're going to be in April. This Knicks team is going to be different come March, April. They're already positioned as far as relevancy and expectation. They have to go to the finals. We're not playing in position for the same thing right now. They have to go to the finals for this to be valid and successful and to maintain it. If they don't go to the finals, this is over. They're going to start breaking that team up. You have Claxton or Clarkston, and you have, shout out to Speedy Claxton. You got Clarkston, and you got Yazabel, and you have Josh Hart coming off the bench with them. They have the starting five that they have with OG and Cat and Brunson. They have to go to the finals for this to even be valid. They have to go to the finals. Whether they want to acknowledge that positioning psychologically and conversationally, they have to deal with that, because if they don't, then they failed, and this team will be broken up piece by piece. We're going to see the first chip fall from that castle, and then the rest will come avalanching down. We're in position for our future prosperity. We can't get hung up on this Knicks game. It's a back-to-back. It's the second of a back-to-back. We're going to win. We're going to lose. But most importantly, we're going to learn who they are and who they are facing us. We're the second seed. Dominant. We shoot better than they do. We score better than they do. We're a better functioning team. They have all these individual parts that have yet to learn how to work together enough to get the result that the Knicks fans crave. They have to go to the finals and win at least 2 or 3 games even for this to be valid. And then after that, they have to actually win one, or this is going to be considered a bust, no matter how much they make. Because on the business end, they're good for business. The Knicks are good for business. We're good for business as well. So we're going in there as good for business. The season doesn't start till Christmas. The NBC situation doesn't start until after Christmas. We're going to see, because we're being favored by the machine right now. Let's see what happens come playoff time, because we know what the Knicks going deep in the playoffs is good for business. The Pacers are not going to be a part of the conversation. The 76ers aren't even, they're not even in position for people to even care about what they're doing. They're just a disappointment at this point because of Joel Embiid's injury and Paul George wanting to be a podcaster and not taking basketball as serious as he should. with the winding down of his career, and Tyrese Maxey being the new guy who should be the face of the franchise, and he's fighting for that moment where he becomes totally the face and they build around him. That's going to take time. Then they have to find the right pieces, which is easier said than done. With Boston, you got all these, like, it's a lot that can happen between now and March. It's a lot of time. We have to remember the battle is perpetual. It's never going to end. We got in position. Now we have to fight to maintain it. For me, if you're asking me, the 3rd seed is perfect for us because you play against a 6th seed. So you beat a 6th seed, that's validating the positioning, and now the momentum is continual. If we go 2nd seed and struggle, or we give up a game or two to a 7th seed who we were dominating during the regular season, the conversation is going to weaken. The perception, because now perception is reality. And now I'm learning, because I always hated that because it was never really explained to me in a way that makes actual sense. You know how it is in the hood. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Motherfucker, that's not science. That's goofy shit. Explain to me how this works from a psychological standpoint, from person to person, why looking the part is as important as being it. Oh, marketing, speed of production and execution and relevancy. I get it. Explain it to me where it makes sense, and I'll get it. We don't want the appearance of our success to be any less than what the actual quality of the success is to the real fans, which is me, you, and everybody else who were there during the positioning. When you're positioning yourself, it's ugly. It's nasty. It's not beautiful. It's not picturesque. It's not one of those things where everybody want to be around you, because you're reforming and creating a new structure for your life and momentum. Everybody wants to be a part of something that's moving forward at a speed that they're comfortable with. Even if you're moving forward at a slow pace, people ain't gonna fuck with you. But if you move at a pace that makes them feel like there's motion, even if it's chaotic, they're gonna cling to it. We took our time and did this right, and it hurt like hell. If you a Raptors fan, you know how painful this shit was, because there was so much that we lost. There was so much that was sacrificed. There is so much that's not here. That's life. You talking about a metaphor for life? When you become successful, some of the people, if not most of the people that are in your life right now, will not be there when you reach the mountaintop. And you have to understand that. Most of my family is gone. Friends gone. And I don't mean like in prison, gone, died. I just lost a childhood friend recently. When I say recently, a couple days ago. Childhood, who taught me how to, who laid out the blueprint for me being who I am right now. Big part of the blueprint. If there was ever a big brother, it was him. I gotta wear that. People ask me, yo, how come you don't cry? How come you don't, how do you deal with it? How do you cope with everything how? With all these chess pieces leaving the chessboard, how? How do you deal? And this is what I said. There's gonna be one day, if not a weekend, I'm gonna go someplace. I'm gonna take my pictures, my videos of everybody being together one last time, and I'm gonna watch them, and I'm gonna let it all out, and I'm gonna move on. That's life. It's painful, but that's life. You drop me into this game, I gotta figure out how to drop 30 a night. That's what my soul calls for. I gotta drop 30 a night. I gotta position myself to drop 30 a night. And a lot of y'all wonder why I was so hard on Scotty and why I feel a certain way about Scotty from time to time throughout him being here, because I identify with that. That's the truth. I identify with being gifted have an expectation, and now I have to piece it together. I don't have to learn much. Even when I was a kid, I didn't have to you didn't have to teach me much. I figured it all out. I understood repetition, fucking 8 years old. I understood all the stuff that they're teaching y'all now. I understood as a kid. All that Think and Grow Rich shit, fucking 94, I was learning that. Way ahead of my peer, always been ahead of my peer group, always. Couldn't wait to get older. I hated being young. There's no experience in being young. Yeah, I had fun being young, but I ain't fucking like that shit. I hated not knowing. I knew there was more information. I had to wait my turn. Now I'm here. Let's get to it. In positioning, all the information I could ever want. But I identify with Scotty. Like, you got to figure out what parts of your game works. You don't have, because you don't have to use it all. And that's like, you don't have to use it. Find what works, do that, and then enjoy the rest of your time. You don't fucking have to spend 24 hours on no shit or nothing. You find what works, do what works, keep doing that, and your shift will be easy. Enjoy the rest of your time. You ain't have to waste a lot of energy. You're not exhausting yourself. You're having fun. You're saving yourself all the great moments that you want to experience. And I identify with that Scotty shit. He has everything. Either he can be a Hall of Famer, or he can be a star that's worth talking about, but who could have been more. I don't want to, like, my thing is, you can't leave money on the table, because people hold that against you as well. That's what happens with greatness. They hold against you what you didn't do, as well as in comparison to what you've done. They weigh them both. Everybody don't get that. Some people, you accomplish, like a Draymond Green. We are happy that he did what he did. Like, nigga, look at you. Look what you did with what you got. Shit. We look at Sky like, hey, we know you're better than he is, but look at what he got out of his abilities. Look at what he got out of his game. Look at what he got maximum out of what he had. No knees. He don't even have knees. He has no cartilage. He has no knees, no athleticism, no jump shot. He got the most out of what he had because he was in the right position. And he did the most he could do from that position. They were successful. Now he's going to be a Hall of Famer. First ballot, Draymond Green. Him and Kenya Martin going at it. Ain't no fucking comparison. Kenya Martin was in a position to be great, but he didn't get over the mountaintop. Draymond did. There's no conversation there. Scotty is better than Draymond. It's not even fucking close. But can he get the most out of his ability? Because we're going to hold against him what he did not do. And I understand that, because I deal with that. What I didn't do, what I haven't done yet, is held against me despite what I'm doing. It's cool. Once I get over, once I handle the business, the rest of it just happens. But it's hard to figure out what actually, just find what works and do that and gain massive success. It's all easy. We're in position to overachieve this season. We've already began that conversation. We've exercised a lot of demons, and everyone's looking at it how it's happened so rapidly, that we're dominating the sub 500 teams the way that we are, and then we're beating the teams that are above 500 and the prominent teams. And then there's this conversation of, hey, they're not ready for you yet. That's not our fucking fault. We're coming in ready to compete. We're not a feel-good story. We've been working on this positioning for years. We ain't like, this ain't no fucking luck. We didn't rub the fucking Apollo log and come out and perform and get cheered by the crowd. Nah, we didn't fucking no. We simply came out and did the fucking positioning. We did the ugly positioning. And shout out to the people that we need draft picks. We got to have draft picks. I hated that conversation, but now I understand they were kind of right. They were in positioning mode. They were right. To a certain extent, they were right. To all of the competitors like myself, we're like, nigga, it's wide open. This niggas is pussy. We should beat everybody. And there's people like, it's positioning. Take a step back and let's position ourselves to beat the fuck out of everybody. And that's where we are right now. Took a step back. 2 years. Painful years. Now we're in position to beat the fuck out of everybody. And they have to deal with it. Now, I don't care about what they got to do to get there. It's not my business. But I don't want us to look at this Knicks game and be like, yo, we beat the Knicks and we got no. Now, if we blow the Knicks out, I'm going to laugh my ass off. We blow the Knicks out, I'm laughing my ass off. Because that's a hit to the ego. But they're going to make it a fight because they have something to prove, and we have a target on our back as the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. We have to understand that people can make a name off of beating us now. Our job is to continue to keep their head under fucking water till they quit, till we don't see no more bubbles. They're going to fight back. And that's what we got to be prepared for. We're in positioning now. We're in position that they fight us. They need every win they can get. As long as we stay 5-6 games above, we are 9 games above 500. Beautiful positioning. I say as long as we stay 5 games above 500, we're fine in the Eastern Conference. But these games are going to mean something. Once that NBC contract kicks in, we're going to see how it looks. Because we got to gauge how this thing is going to be moving. I love the fact that we're in positioning, 14-5. But when the NBC contract kicks in and the season actually starts, let's see how this thing works out from a business standpoint. This is big business. You're seeing guys crash out with NBA players over parlays and shit, which is the stupidest fucking bet ever. I wish we could have some real conversations, because then you would see the genius. Like, there are industries that are exploding that I predicted would explode 5, 6, 7 years ago. And people were looking at me like, nah, that's not going. Now they exploded into massive situations. And I'm going to pick all of them apart and get paid. But sports betting isn't going to be one of them. I predicted this years ago. I knew that shit was going to be legalized, knew it was going to be big. I was sports betting in 98. 98. Let's do the math. Now it's a big thing now. Sports betting in 98. You understand me? It's different. This is your boy. We talking touting services calling me like, listen, we can give you some picks. I'm like, nah, I'm doing all right by myself. I'm going to call Jamaica and make my pick. We can have some real dope conversations if y'all really want to talk. We can talk that Poker Stars. We can talk whatever y'all want to talk about. We can have real dope conversations, but this channel, y'all only want to talk about the Raptors, and I respect that. But my second channel, I'm gonna expand the conversation, because I have to get these certain things off my chest. It's gonna be fun, and we can't just keep looking at certain teams as a benchmark when the rest of the world don't look at them like that anymore. Like beating the Knicks, it's gonna mean a lot to us. But beating the Knicks in April, that's where it counts. Like certain teams, when you beat them in April, in May, that's when it counts. Like we can beat the fuck out of Boston. But if we lose to Boston in the fucking playoffs, everything is erased. Same thing with the 76ers, same thing with the Heat. With any team, like not any team, certain teams we just gonna fuck over during the season. But when we get you in the certain teams like the Heat, Boston, Knicks, 76ers, Milwaukee, those are playoff teams. Those are playoff conversations. We don't judge them by what they are doing during the regular season, because when they have the ability to piece it together throughout now till April 20th or 18th or whatever end of the season is. I think it's the 18th or 17th, some shit like that. When the playoffs start, they can be in a totally different fucking team with the machine behind them, with the momentum behind them. And then it's like, fuck. We've been in positioning so long, that conversation may stale. Now we're going up against them, and it's like, They're grandfathered in, and we got to deal with that. And they're like, all right, let's go. Let's see what you got. You're not going to get the same calls. It ain't going to be the same game. Let's see what you got. You're in position to be in the conversation, but you got to beat us to keep the momentum. And that's what this is about. Because you don't get to prosperity from positioning without momentum. You don't get in position without momentum. You don't get to prosperity after being in position without momentum or skills, the ability to create momentum. We're going to certain teams we play against, we got to take with a grain of salt right now. Like we've already positioned ourselves as a problem, as a product of proper positioning and sacrifices over years of it. Now here we stand. Let's not get over. Let's not take this Knicks game too far, because they're going to be a totally different team come the playoffs, and we don't want to get caught out there. The 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, Boston's probably not going to be there. They're probably just going to give up and try and get a lottery pick. But certain teams are going to sneak. Certain names are going to sneak into the playoffs, and then we're going to have to fucking deal with them on that level with NBC lights on us, with these guys conversating and big budgets and big money on the line. Until we get past that hurdle, certain names that we beat or lose to, yeah, we could be excited. But remember, they're working themselves into playoff position. We're in positioning to dominate the East during the regular season, which is very important. That is the very important first step, because they all had to take that step. Dominance in the Eastern Conference, proving that you're a relevant piece of the Eastern Conference. Then you get into the playoff conversation. Then you get into the championship conversation. We've already jumped the first hurdle. Let's enjoy the rest of the race. But when we talk about certain teams, we have to keep it in proper perspective. These are playoff teams. These are teams that are going to be totally different. They still got a trade to make. They still got shit to do, just like we do. If we get our piece, it don't. If we get Gafford, it don't even fucking matter what they do at that point. It don't matter. And if we don't have to give up a lot for Gafford, we're fine. Now you got to deal with us. Until that conversation begins, we have to be prepared for them to make a decision based off of our success. Everything they're doing is our success. We're leading the pack. They're following us, and they're watching our habits and our traits, and they're studying us. We have to be very aware of that. And we're gonna have to take it to another level or implement some new things that make us more dangerous, because they're studying us. They're watching us. There's film on us. They're aware of us. We got a target on our back. And I don't give a fuck about that, but we have to be aware of it. Because at some point, these games are going to become more serious. And it's about what's good for business. We beat these names. We become marketable. We define who our star is and how we're playing the way that we've been doing. But there's going to be some moments that we have to have before the machine is completely behind us and we realize, listen, now we can go to the finals. We're 2 steps away. But what we do in these playoffs is going to tell me everything I need to know where we are systematically. Because you don't win a championship without the machine behind you. And we all know what that means. We all know what that is. Major media, mainstream media behind you. Because that's what's good for business. You know what I mean? And I don't want us to get too far ahead of this is about basketball. But once we get past Christmas, we're going to see. Because some teams are already tanking to try and get those draft picks. We're going to help y'all get them draft picks. But then when it come down to who's going to decide who's coming out the East, we gotta be very aware of certain possibilities. We got a tightrope that we gotta walk, and let's not get too excited about certain teams too early, because they will change and they're gonna make adjustments according to what we look like as a success. They're studying us. They have books on us. They have tape on us. They have information on us. They're watching us. They're gonna take a piece of our blueprint and use it against us. They're gonna use it against us. It's always been that way. They're gonna start using pieces of who we are against us. The thing that we can leverage better than anybody else is the fact that we've become a team that can hit shots, score, run better than anybody. There's not a lot of teams that could hit shots and run fast break against anybody. We're the number one fast breaking team. We're shooting the shit out the basketball. Even when we're not shooting the shit out the basketball, that doesn't mean we're gonna lose to you. Just means we get to leverage something else. And that's what's making us more and more dangerous because now we're figuring out what to leverage against these teams to beat them. Because every team has a weakness. And as long as we're hunting for weaknesses and we're aware of that every team has one, and let's find it and let's fucking exploit it on that night. Because it's different. There's a difference between what's on paper and what happens that night. Because somebody can get hot. They can get on a run, they can get on a roll, they can get in control. But as long as we leverage that one thing that's not working for them that night, we can get ourselves back into the game and we can take control and we can win. No team is invincible. So we're gonna see. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. I just wanted to get this off my chest. Let's not look too far ahead of where we are. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it in proper perspective because some of these teams that we're gonna beat up on, they are gonna be fixing themselves to compete against us in the playoffs. It's interesting. Don't forget that now we are the hunters that are being hunted. Now we have to understand where we are and who we are and what we're really up against. Yeah, I like this position though. I like this position a lot. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Let's further this conversation. I'm out of here. Peace.